Hello and happy Sunday morning. Continuing the preview tour, we are still in the West, this time with the second place team in the NFC West, and that is the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams bounced back in stunning fashion after a disastrous 2022 season. Matthew Stafford looked strong, and a pair of fifth-round picks, running back Kyren Williams and receiver Puka Nacua, led a great offense. The Rams got enough out of their defense and did enough overall to win 10 games and make their way back to the playoffs. The team didn't go that far, but it was a nice return from where the squad had been in 2022. Now in 2024, the Rams will look to build on that success and get back to the postseason in an improving NFC. Let's look at their offseason changes. The Rams didn't lose many players, but they did lose a crucial one on defense when Aaron Donald retired. The heart of the defense and the defensive line, Donald will be near impossible to replace. Though the Rams did spend 2 high draft picks to grab defensive end Jared Verse and defensive tackle Braden Fisk to begin that rebuilding. They also signed veteran cornerback Tre'Davious White to boost the secondary. But it wasn't all about the defense for the Rams. Probably their biggest offseason acquisition came in the draft when they got former Michigan running back Blake Corum. Corum was a 4-year player at Michigan, but he was a workhorse those last 2 years, posting 505 carries. He also rushed for more than 2,700 yards and 45 touchdowns in those seasons. He figures to be a weapon. The team did add veteran Jimmy Garoppolo, who will be suspended to start the season, but gives them a backup. They also added running back Boston Scott and tight end Colby Parkinson to provide some depth. Let's look at their fantasy prospects. It all starts with Matthew Stafford. He returned to form coming off injury in 2023. He finished as QB 15. I like him as a solid QB2 again in 2024. In the backfield, he's joined by Williams, who burst onto the scene and finished as running back 7 despite missing 4 games. He rushed for 1,144 yards and 12 touchdowns, catching 32 passes and adding 3 receiving touchdowns. I like him to be the starter and the workhorse again, finishing as a running back 1. The Rams have historically brought running backs along slowly, with Williams also not doing much as a rookie. I think Corum will have a role and will likely have some flex value later in the season, but I also still feel good about Williams in 2024. I like Corum in Dynasty. I also like him a lot if something happens to Williams. Probably the biggest surprise last year was in the receiver room where Puka Nacua just balled out. He finished as wide receiver 4 as a rookie. It was an amazing record-breaking season where he caught 105 passes for 1,486 yards and 6 touchdowns. The Rams still have veteran Cooper Kupp. He finished as wide receiver 40 last year after missing time with injury. Together, they make a formidable pair. I still like Nacua to be in the wide receiver 1 range, with Kupp as more of a low-end wide receiver 2. I think he's more of the complementary receiver now. There aren't really any other Rams receivers I'm rostering in redraft. Demarcus Robinson could have flex value if there were injuries, and Jordan Whittington could be a good dynasty stash. At tight end, the team has veteran Tyler Higbee. He was tight end 24 in 2023. Colby Parkinson comes over from the Seahawks, could provide some competition for snaps, but I think Higbee is still the tight end I prefer. He's a low-end tight end too for me. He's been more of a boom or bust selection in the past, and I think that holds true this year as well. So what do we expect from the Rams? They really bottomed out in 2022, but they won 10 games and made the playoffs last year. That offense still has its pieces, and it still looks like it's going to hum. Replacing Donald in terms of production isn't easy, but there is really no replacing his ferocity and leadership. But still, the Rams have a reloaded and good group, especially if they can get a lot out of Verse and Fisk to make an early impact. I like the Stafford, Williams, Nacua offense. I think this team is good enough to compete for a playoff spot and finish with 9 or 10 wins.